So I've never stripped one of these TD5 injectors yet, and I want to put bigger nozzles on some for my TD5 build. Well, this one's knackered, so I've got nothing to lose, so I might have a go at stripping it. So if you look closely, you've got you need a special tool to put in these holes to lock it. So what I might do, we've got a bit of wire here, so we just put that in there, one either side, and then I can get it in the vise, and I'll try and get some adjustables on here and see if it cracks open. But I know on the VW ones, you've got to make sure this doesn't spin because it can fracture the part inside. So I've got them bits of metal in there, so I'm just going to put it in the vise so that locks it, and then just try and undo it. I think it's moving, that. Yeah, it is moving. I don't know what's going to happen with this. It is moving. Might just slacken that off just a little bit. See what happens. Watch it go, boing! Yeah, because it is turning that. So it is the same as like the VWs. That's got to be able to spin freely with the injector. So they are, I bet they are similar, aren't they? A bit more pressure off that. We're in. That's not spinning now. Hey. Yeah, they are very similar then to the VW ones. Well, she's in bits anyway. Undo that. Get them bits out. So, dissection. They are so similar them to the VWs. But this one was faulty, it was stuck open. But we're in there anyway. There's another big spring in there as well. So that's all the nozzles stripped down with all the little components. But the bit which I want to change, which I'm not doing on this injector because it's faulty, I'm going to get some more, is the nozzle. So it's got a Delphi number on that. So we can focus in on that. No, it's not going to focus. Anyway, it says Delphi, and then I think it's K023P BC FVG. But I want some bigger ones. But I know Dark Side do them. So yeah, first time I stripped one of them little numbers. Bits and bobs. So yeah, you got the solenoid housing. Just opens and closes the flow. And obviously you've got a push rod in the centre of it, spring loaded. And you got this little housing here. and then the other side of it has like a little tiny valve at the bottom of it. Which is that little bit there. And then you have another little spring-loaded seat which sits on that valve. That goes in another heavier duty spring which goes on this section. I've not took that out yet. I think that comes out as well. And that's another one-way valve as well. And then that attaches to the important bit, the nozzle. So yeah, I want some of them, but bigger. Oh, you can see the number now, where you could a minute ago. Yeah, Delphi. Just about see it there. It's gone now. So yeah, some bigger ones of them. And then I'll rebuild a full set then, innit? Yeah, so I have just stripped this bit apart as well. So you got a couple of bits. You got this little fella here. It's like a nozzle. And then you got a little washer. And then you got this little stop end valve which goes in as well. And that gets a bit of pressure from that spring which puts pressure on that, which is another little stop end valve which goes in this housing. And then you get the heavy duty spring which goes in between them, which puts pressure on this housing, which puts pressure against the nozzle. So it's all clever stuff, isn't it? So I might just pop all the bits together so I don't lose everything. Not that bad them to do. Quite simple in there. I might strip the solenoid off on another video and have a look at that as well. But yeah, not too bad that. So a bit more stripping. So you got your nozzle housing and your nozzle. Then you got this little valve carrier. So it has this little piece which seats in it, a tapered piece. You see it's tapered on the other side. And then the retaining washer which holds this little valve which sits in the centre of that, and that goes around it. Then you got the spring which holds pressure to hold the nozzle in, and then you've got the spring which goes in the centre of that with a little sort of like packer rod to stop it from bending, I think it is, when it's under compression. And then that sits in the end of that spring, and that spring end sits in there. And then you've got this little valve assembly which actually goes inside this, and then all that clips together, and then you got a little packer washer which sits in here, and then all that goes inside here, and then it's like the tension of that spring and screwing it which holds it all together in the solenoid housing. And then obviously you get your spring which is run off the cam, which will compress, it'll build up the pressure, which will be held back off the solenoid, and when the solenoid is released electrically from the ECU, then it'll go through all this big valve mechanism and into the nozzle. So yeah, it's all good stuff, isn't it? Get it back together now again. leave it loose like that, and that's it. All back together again. So yeah, just thought I'd show you, because I've never took one apart. So like I say, I'm going to get a set of green tops and then strip them down, get some bigger nozzles, probably from Dark Side, and put them on. So yeah, thanks for watching, catch you on the next one.